YouTube, welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video of Mr. Terry as I continue my search for historical knowledge here on YouTube. Alright, today's video is the winner of this week's Patrons Pick Poll. So this was chosen by our Patreon supporters, and it is called The Japanese Soldier Who Didn't Surrender Until 1974. This is by the channel SimpleHistory, which we have covered before, and they make awesome videos. Love doing these. So I'm excited to do this. Now, of course, the big hook to this is this Japanese soldier that they're going to be talking about didn't surrender till 1974, nearly 30 years after World War II had ended. So you got to wonder what was going on. This guy's still fighting. You know, does he not know the war is over? These are just the questions that I have going in, and we'll see what we can learn here. All right, before we begin, though, if you like this original video, it's important to me that you go down to the description below and make sure that you click the link there, which will take you to the original video, so you can like and subscribe over there. Even if you're subscribed to Simple History, go over there, make sure you give them a like, the view, support the early channel there. Like I said before, this was voted on by patron pledgers of my channel here. And if that's something you would like to do, there will be a link down below, and you get to vote in weekly polls there. But let's go ahead and get started. The Japanese soldier who didn't surrender until 1974. Let's see what the heck was going on with this guy.
This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Hiro Onoda, the Japanese soldier who didn't surrender until 1974. Hiro Onoda was a Japanese intelligence officer in the Imperial Japanese Army who refused to surrender until decades after World War II had ended.
Can we just appreciate the guy that does the voice of Simple History? He sounds like a movie trailer when I do that. I don't know if he's the creator or just the narrator for this channel, but it sounds good. I wish I could sound like that.
Ended. In the Pacific Theater, there were many Japanese holdouts holding Zanryu Nipponhei, or remaining Japanese soldiers.
That would make sense just so far, because of course what the Japanese were known for is not surrendering. I mean, battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa were such high casualty because they would not surrender. It's not part of their cultural or strategic opinion there to do that. So that would make sense right there, that they were still just holding on, because that's what they were expected to do, right? But again, the question is going to be, is until 74? I mean, you'd have to know that the war is over by then, right?
Holding Zanryu Nipponhei, or remaining Japanese soldiers. They were motivated to continue on after the surrender of Japan in August 1945 because of their dogmatic, militaristic indoctrination, or simply because they were unaware of the surrender.
True.
Hiro Onoda was trained at the Nakano School as an intelligence officer, where he was taught guerrilla warfare and intelligence gathering. Onoda was sent to Lubang Island near Luzon in the Philippines in late 1944. Where he would soon meet up with a group of other Japanese soldiers already on the island. Mijiyoshimi Taniguchi had given him orders to live off the land and forbade him to die by his own hand. He would further reassure Officer Onoda and forbade him. Mijiyoshimi Taniguchi had given him orders to live off the land and forbade him to die by his own hand. He would further reassure Officer Onoda.
Because that was kind of a thing, like if you can go back to like Bushido honor code and like seppuku, where you like rather than surrender to keep your honor, you would commit suicide. So he's saying, don't even do it by your own hand. You're not supposed to do that either. Just stay alive. Okay, so that would make it different. You're not allowed to.
By saying, it may take 3 years, it may take 5, but whatever happens, we'll come back
30.
for you. Until then, so long as you have one soldier, you are to continue to lead them. Higher-ranked officers in the group made Onoda unable to carry out his mission to sabotage the enemy airstrip and pier at the harbor. This in turn made the U.S. conquest of the island, which was achieved in February 1945, easy. Once U.S. forces were
which is not generally a scenario for these islands. These islands may be small, but for the Americans, every inch was difficult. They're small, but like they're saying, they defend so well, they don't surrender, and a lot of these islands are just completely fortified. Like they're like Iwo Jima and Okinawa, that you got like very mountainous, and they're pretty much just a giant fortified floating fortress. You know what I mean? Plus the surroundings here, they're very there's a lot of them are jungled like this, so everything, there could be Japanese soldiers anywhere. They could be in trees, they could be in traps underground, you know what I mean? So it took so long to clear what seemed like, as far as square like kilometers go, could be something very small, but could just be at a snail's pace for actually conquering for the Americans.
On the island, the large group split up into smaller groups of 3 to 4 men and escaped into the jungle, and were either picked off by the U.S. troops or surrendered, until it was just Hiru Onoda and 3 others under his command which were left active. Private Yuichi Akatsu, Corporal Shoichi Shimada, and Private First Class Kinshichi Kozuka, all of which had set up base in the mountains. After Japan had formally surrendered in September 1945, Onoda and his group came across a number of leaflets. The first leaflet, left behind by locals, was discovered quite soon, reading, "The war ended on August 15th. Come down from the mountain." However, they concluded that it was an Allied propaganda trick. After this conclusion, the group continued to raid local islanders for food and other resources.
That is true. That's when it...
General Tomoyuki Yamashita of the 14th Area Army also dropped leaflets from the air with a surrender order. But again, the group decided that they were a trick. With a lack of knowledge of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it may have seemed more unlikely that Japan was willing to surrender. In 1949, Yuichi Akatsu escaped from the group and surrendered to Filipino forces in 1950.
Even that's crazy, because the war, since 1949, the war's been over for 4 years. Still holding out that long, just living off the land? Like, were they not making much connection at all with other people?
Causing the remaining 3 to be cautious to disloyalty. In 1952, the search mission was expanded with letters and pictures from the group's families dropped from an aircraft, but again, this was wrote off as a trick by the 3 soldiers. Every piece of evidence the group came across increased their paranoia and hostilities. While they were dressed in their Imperial Japanese uniforms, the people they came across were in civilian clothing, which they interpreted as Allied soldiers in disguise, with the strategy of luring them out.
Even if they're
As a result,
Japanese
they didn't think twice when
Filipino.
firing on the locals. Corporal
Killed
Shoichi
locals?
Shimada was shot in the leg but recovered with the help of a...
Okay, so now we're another 4 years out, and he still doesn't understand? How do you just not have that much connection?
Onoda in 1953, but on May 7, 1954, he was killed by a search party when he fired upon his potential rescuers who returned fire on a beach at Gunton.
So it's almost like he's gone crazy now. Like, he's gone crazy with that kind of isolation and disconnection. Is that why I wonder if they chose these guys based off of their, what, I want to say them being gullible, but their very trusting nature, that they knew that these guys would be just so loyal that even as time goes by, like, they're still going to be committed to their original instructions. I wonder if that's why they specifically chose these guys.
Now just 2 remained. Onoda and Kozuka would continue the mission to sabotage, gather intelligence on, and attack the enemy, which no longer existed.
Yeah.
But on October 19, 1972, during a skirmish, Kozuka was shot and killed by the police when he was burning a farmer's rice collection. Lieutenant Onoda was now alone. On February 20th, 1974, a determined Japanese explorer called Norio Suzuki found Onoda.
Yeah, how disconnected was this guy and removed from society? Is he totally just hiding out in the jungles and mountains or something? Like, there's no connection? Because there's no way, if he had any kind of real life connection to anybody, they would know that the war is over. I mean, it must have been, right? Just completely isolated still?
Onoda still refused to surrender. However, Suzuki had the idea to locate his original commanding officer, Major Yoshimi Taniguchi. In March 1974, his former commanding officer, Major Yoshimi Tamaguchi, traveled to the Philippines to fulfill his promise to return.
I wonder if he forgot. Do you think the commanding officer just forgot? He's like, oh crap, that guy I sent out, he's still out there. I haven't heard back from him. Oh, it's been 30 years. Did he forget about the guy he sent out? Oh, I better get back to him. Oh man, what's this going to be like? Let me go back 5 seconds.
Officer Major Yoshimi Tamaguchi traveled to the Philippines to fulfill his promise to return and end his orders in person. Onoda, still wearing his tattered army uniform from decades ago, saluted the Japanese flag and handed over his samurai sword, his functioning Arasaka Type 99 rifle, several rounds of ammunition, hand grenades, and his family dagger. The Philippine government under
He's like,
President...
sorry, I forgot, man. You just wasted your half of your life fighting a war that doesn't actually exist.
And Ferdinand Marcos granted him a pardon, taking into consideration that although he had killed 30 innocent people during his campaign on the island, he thought the war was still carrying on. When he returned to Japan, Onoda was very popular, but he found it hard to adjust to the new post-war Japan and the decay of its traditional values.
I mean, the world changed so much, especially in Japan, from the 1940s to the 70s. It's like a completely different country. They're going to go, I mean, he's going to go back there and be like, wait, because the Americans oversaw with like MacArthur and everything, like redoing their constitution, rebuilding their industry. They started expanding in the technology center, which would have been all these new technologies would have seen, like television and all the stuff that now Japan not only wouldn't have had as a technology when the war started, but now they're like a leading producer. It'd be like coming back to a completely different thing. Oh, there's Americans all over. Apparently we're friends with them now, and the world has completely changed. Holy cow.
It's hard to adjust to the new post-war Japan and the decay of its traditional values.
Yeah, it's gone.
He published an autobiography and in 1975 left Japan for Brazil, where he raised cattle and later opened a series of training schools. In his last years, Hiro Onoda said in an interview,
"You regret it?
Every Japanese soldier was prepared for death, but as an intelligence officer, I was ordered to conduct guerrilla warfare and not to die. I became an officer and I received an order. If I could not carry it out, I would feel shame. I am very competitive."
The indoctrinated?
This video was made possible by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with more than 17,000 classes. Some of the apps that we use to bring Simple History to life are Adobe Illustrator for drawing characters and Premiere Pro for editing. Skillshare is a great place to learn these skills, and with a premium membership at less than $10 a month, you get unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts. So Skillshare is giving the first 200 people using the promo link in the description below 2 months free access to try it out risk-free. Give it a shot.
Whoa, lewd. No. So okay, get back to the video here.
4.
Okay. All right. So a couple things I'm still wondering. Was the guy pissed? First off, I mean, it sounds like he wasn't. When he finds out later, he was just still doing orders. Was he pissed? Would he resent the army? It sounds like he's not. You can tell that why they chose that guy, because holy devotion, right? Like that's nuts. He totally did exactly what he was ordered to do and committed to it completely. I mean, he would have there's no way that word of the war ending wouldn't have got to. I mean, I already said there was a few times where this was happening with those leaflets, but just thought it was propaganda. It was, fake. But wow, what a devout guy. That's just unbelievable that you could do that. I can't think that'd be possible, right? To be 30 years out of the war and still not just didn't know about it, but like fighting it. Said he killed another 30 civilians or something even after that. So, right? Is this guy heroic? Is he gullible? I don't know. Is it both that way? Fascinating story. That's one thing I like about this channel. If you don't know much about Simple History, they give a bunch of these really interesting stories of just way out there. Stories out there that you never hear about, and they're very, very unique, and that's awesome to see that more. So awesome. Great job. Thanks, patron voters, for choosing this. I thought this was really cool. It's definitely an interesting story I could share in my classrooms, just as, not that this had an effect on the war, but just something interesting out there. to do that. I love to insert that kind of stuff in my history classes. Makes it fun. All right, so thanks again for watching today, and again, thanks for everyone for voting for this. It was awesome. If you'd like to join our Patreon, the link will be down below, and you can get involved in voting on videos and be a part of that. Also want to plug our Discord community. We have an awesome Discord community of over 4,000 people and a bunch of active people that are great to talk history with. So if you'd like to join that, a link is also down below. If you like the original video, go down there as well and click the original video link to give them a like and subscribe, and that'll be awesome. All right. Thanks again for joining me. If you haven't subbed to me, love to have you as part of my little journey here on history and trying to learn more and add anything I can. So thanks again, and we'll go ahead and call it here. Bye.